This is going to be a quick walkthrough for how to create a template for a new activity in Watermark for assessment. So I'm logged on to my admin screen up here. From the main Watermark, you click this and log into admin from your main faculty screen. I'm logged into my admin screen and I've scrolled down to my department that I want. I'm psychology. Now, before you create your template, you want to make sure that the rubric that you're wanting to use for this assignment assessment has already been uploaded. So come over here to your rubrics and make sure that you see which rubric you're going to want to use. I'm using written communication. So I'm going to go over here to my template and I'm going to create a new template. I'm going to create an activity because I'm wanting to create for my Psych 330 classes the template for them to submit their final papers. And I'm going to call this Psych 330 final paper. It's going to be a standard workflow. And I'm going to come up here to create. What the standard workflow is showing is that the students are going to submit it, the instructor is going to grade it, and it's going to be recorded. So what I'm going to do now for this template for my Psych 330 final paper is I'm going to pull up my information on Canvas for the final paper that I want to use. If I click over here for my final paper on Canvas, I'm going to take this final paper information and I'm just going to copy this over here into my Watermark screen. So now that when students log on to Watermark, they also see the information for the final paper that I've already given them to Canvas. And I'm going to tell Watermark that the way that I want this graded is I want them to make a file upload. Okay, so I want my students to upload their document. I don't want them to copy their paper into a text area. I don't want them to submit a YouTube video, although you do have that option. I want them to do a file upload. So for the label, I'm going to put upload your paper here. And I'm going to change this just because sometimes students add graphics or charts. I'm going to limit the file type to a document. Now, if you want students to upload a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint or something, you have all sorts of options. I want my students to upload a document because this is a paper. And I'm going to enable scoring. As the instructor, I want to be able to score this assessment. And I'm putting, I believe the rubric that I'm using is a 20-point rubric. Okay, and the student owns the paper. This is not an optional paper. Students must do it. I'm going to save this. Now over here in my assessment panel, this is where I'm going to add the rubric for this paper. So I click these dots, I click the rubric. I'm wanting to assess this and I'm wanting to use this written communication rubric that I already verified that I had uploaded. I'm going to manually score this paper. I don't need to hide the scores from the users, and I do not need to mark this paper as being optional. So this is how this is going to be assessed, is using this rubric. So I have this, I have this. I'm going to save the assignment. And now on my templates, if I scroll down here, I see my Psychology 330 final paper loaded as a template. So now what I do to actually enable this so that my instructors who are teaching this class can link their Canvas assignments to it, I'm going to click over here on the course. I'm going to come down here to Psychology 330. I'm going to go to templates and I'm going to insert the template. This is basically telling Watermark that this paper is paired with this class. I can come over here to the activity scheduler. I can create the schedule. And I can tell it that for Psychology 330, final paper, this activity is required. If you want the grade to go back to the LMS gradebook, you can do this. I never check this by default simply because some instructors want to manually add additional components to their grading in Canvas. I'm going to have this visible from the section start date in case there are already students who want to turn it in early, or in case you're asking your students to make sure you can log in. And I'm going to say that the due date for this is going to be 8 weeks. Actually, I'll do 9 weeks for some wiggle room after the open submission date. Because in this course, this is an accelerated 8-week course. And so we're going to do 9 weeks after the open submission date. We're going to schedule this. Why is this not happy? Oh, activity title. So where you need to tell it it's the Psych 330 final paper. And we schedule it. And so now every section of Psychology 330 is going to already have this activity scheduled. And we're going to go back. And that is how you create a new template, a new activity, and assign it to a course in Watermark.